Gut microbes are literally controlling your mood. Your stomach is having a conversation with your brain right now, and you have absolutely no idea what it's saying. That bacteria living in your gut, trillions of them, a literal universe, aren't just digesting your lunch. They're manufacturing chemicals that slip past your blood-brain barrier and rewire how you feel, how you think, whether you spiral into depression or stay stable. They're not asking permission. They're not sending a memo. They're just doing it. And the scariest part? Most of us have been treating mental illness like it's a purely brain problem when the real revolution might be happening 3 feet lower, in the dark, where almost nobody thought to look. So here's what we need to know. What exactly are these microbes doing down there, and how much control are they actually exercising over your mental state? We've known for a while that something's off. Depression, anxiety, PTSD. These disorders wreck millions of lives every year, and despite decades of antidepressants and therapy, we still don't totally understand what's actually broken. We've been fixated on serotonin, dopamine, neurotransmitters floating around in your brain like the whole story happens from the neck up. But mounting evidence has been quietly suggesting something weirder. Patients with depression often have different gut bacteria than healthy people. People with anxiety show microbial imbalances. The connection kept appearing over and over in study after study. So the real question wasn't whether they were linked. The question was, how? What's the actual mechanism? How are bacteria talking to the brain? A team of researchers at West China Hospital in Sichuan University decided to find out. Led by Wei Jiang and a collaborative group including Yuan M and Qin F, they published this work in Translational Psychiatry in July 2026. These aren't random scientists. They're working at a national mental health center with access to massive datasets and serious computational power. They weren't just fishing. They were hunting for a specific thing. The exact molecules that microbes manufacture that then turn around and affect your mental state. Here's what they did. They reviewed existing research, both animal studies and human clinical data, and they looked for a pattern. They were searching for metabolites. These are the chemicals that bacteria produce when they break down food. Specifically, they focused on 4 major types: short-chain fatty acids, amino acid-related metabolites, bile acids, and monoamine-related metabolites. Think of it like this. Your gut bacteria are a factory. Food comes in. Bacteria process it. Out come chemical products. Those products enter your bloodstream. Some of those products cross into your brain, and some of those products directly affect your mood and mental state. The researchers gathered everything known about how each of these metabolites works and built a map of the gut-brain highway. The findings hit different once you understand what's actually happening. Short-chain fatty acids, especially butyrate, appear to protect your brain. These are produced when bacteria ferment fiber. When you eat enough fiber and your bacteria are healthy, they make butyrate. It crosses into your brain, and it acts like a shield against inflammation. People with depression and anxiety often have lower butyrate-producing bacteria. That's not coincidence, that's mechanism. Then there's the amino acid metabolites. Your bacteria transform amino acids from food into compounds like tryptophan metabolites. Tryptophan is the precursor to serotonin, so your gut bacteria don't just digest tryptophan, they actively reshape it into forms your brain can use. When this goes wrong, your brain is basically running on fumes. Bile acids work differently but equally wild. They're not just for digestion, they're signaling molecules. They travel through your body and activate receptors that reduce inflammation and modulate your stress response. Low diversity in bacteria that handle bile acids correlates with depression and anxiety disorders. And finally, monoamine metabolites. This is where it gets visceral. Your bacteria actually produce or modify dopamine, serotonin, and related compounds directly. They're not making serotonin from scratch, your neurons do that, but they're making precursors and related molecules that your brain uses. You've probably heard of the gut-brain axis. This is how it actually works, chemically, molecule by molecule. The implications are genuinely unsettling. If your depression is partly caused by bacteria that aren't making enough butyrate, then an SSRI, a drug that blocks serotonin reuptake in your brain, might help, but it's not fixing the root problem. You're treating the symptom while the cause is still sitting in your colon. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, we've been thinking about mental health interventions completely backward. Instead of just adjusting brain chemistry, you'd need to reshape your microbiota. Eat more fiber so the right bacteria thrive. Maybe take probiotics, though the evidence here is still messy. Or even take targeted metabolites directly. But here's where caution matters. This research is a review, a synthesis of existing studies, not new experimental data. It's building a framework, not proving that metabolites cause mental illness. Correlation is everywhere in this field. People with depression have different bacteria. But do the bacteria cause the depression? Or does depression cause the bacteria to change? Probably both. Biology is messy. Also, individual microbiota vary wildly. What's a problem for one person might be normal for another. Personalized treatment might be the future, but we're not there yet. The bigger picture here is that we're in the middle of a genuine paradigm shift. For a century, psychiatry treated the brain like it was sealed off, independent, sovereign. But neuroscience keeps discovering that the brain is one organ in a whole system. Your microbiota aren't invaders. They're part of you. They evolved with you. They've been influencing human behavior since before humans existed. And we've basically ignored them while we built an entire medical specialty around tweaking neurotransmitters. This research raises the most uncomfortable question. How many people are taking antidepressants when what they actually need is a dietary change? How many are in therapy processing childhood trauma when their real problem is dysbiosis, a bacterial imbalance that would respond to probiotics or fiber? We don't know yet. We might never fully know, because individual variation is huge. But the question alone is revolutionary. It means that mental health treatment needs to become ecological. You have to think about the whole ecosystem, not just the brain tenant living in the penthouse. The single wildest thing to wrap your head around is this. Your gut bacteria are literally manufacturing your mood. Not metaphorically, chemically. They're making molecules that cross your blood-brain barrier and change how you think and feel. You are not fully in control of your own mental state because you're not a single organism. You're a superorganism, a walking ecosystem, and your bacteria have a vote. So here's the question that should keep you up tonight. If your bacteria are that powerful, how much of what you think is you is actually them? Turns out scientists have been busy, and they're not done yet.